Good morning, Uganda. Nuzavuganye, Uganda. We won, Uganda. And that was at the Under-17 World Cup qualifiers. Now, Uganda makes it to the round of 32. And as the first felicitations took shape here in Uganda, somebody who was around me made a very exciting statement that, hey, Uganda has beaten Mbappe. But indeed, we say Uganda is celebrating, and it's at this point I will say that I will leave matters of the generals to the generals. Ruben will definitely be coming on later on the show to share the full detail of this story, but for now, felicitations, Uganda. That means congratulations to the Uganda Cranes Under-17 team and to Uganda at large as a country. Good morning, Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantava, and this is Good Morning Uganda. I'm not alone, definitely with the A-class team, Joan Murunji and Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning, Julie. How are you? I can see you're really happy. Is it because of what you just talked about?
Definitely so, the heart, the spirit.
But do you have any interest in football?
I actually do.
Really?
I love football, yes.
Really?
I just don't talk about it much.
Okay.
And of course, the passion to follow it like men, most men die for it. Or it's some of the things I don't do much.
So which team do you support? Because I know it's Uganda.
I'm a Ghana if it comes to the EPL. And if it comes to the UPL, I'm a Kasasiro girl.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you for tuning in to UBS. I'm sorry about that. My name is Joan N. Murunji, and yes, we are here to take you for a very interesting and long ride. So thank you for giving us a company until when we say bye to you.
Right, Robert, good morning.
A lovely morning to you, Julie. I don't remember the words you said, and I don't know if
Felicitation. Really... There is something she said in French.
We won in Uganda. We won, and French is nous avons gagné.
Ah, Julie, that was them speed.
It sounds like Kinyarwanda.
Hey.
Well, Kinyarwanda, seeing as they also, it's a French-speaking country, you would, yes. But it's, yes.
What did you say?
Nous avons gagné.
The fact that she can say it
overall, yes, then it's right.
Then I want to believe it's right. But I don't know if you watched
Did you ask her because prep. You were doubting?
The prep, I thought she was preparing for Senior 6 Kumbe.
Just like I always prepare for every
But of course, something very interesting to the public that they must know. If you're going to fly Masaka Road, there will be a temporary delay.
Right.
At Katonga Bridge, I've seen the first technology. I think they're called gridders being transported, that is at the bridge. So the Ministry of Works and Transport has notified Ugandans that please accept things are being made for the better.
Yeah, and apparently, I think I passed by about 2 days back. It's actually taking shape. A lot has changed. It's really looking good. Yeah, they're at Katonga Bridge.
Well, that is something you should know. And of course, if you've taken long to move on a certain road, you're in a rainy season, please do not just fly, drive. The Ugandans who fly on our roads, they don't drive, but they fly. So please do not fly, drive carefully. It is the rainy season, anything can happen. Where you pass during the day, when the road is clear, you can have a strong power. Trains, cats and dogs and things turn differently, then there you come. And to the politicians, our brothers and sisters, campaigns are on. But please and please, let's keep peace. Then finally, the Electoral Commission, you know, there's that committee. I saw Sam Mathias Warukaga, where Honorable Medad Segona took him to the tribunal to doubting his academic credentials. Saying, but this man brought things of, you see me, take a ginger young.
Adult education.
So, so he was doubting. Then someone says that Joel Senyonyi and others in that race should be dropped because there is no constituency known as Nakawa West. It is, I think, Nakawa West Division. So now, this one wants the Electoral Commission to disqualify all candidates and leave only him. And declare him unopposed.
He should take it on with EC because it's EC that ideally nominated them by a constituency. That is accepted by the Electoral Commission. And speaking into what Robert has just shared, let me just read an official notice from the Ministry of Works to make clarity of that information. Temporary traffic delay at Katonga Bridge, Kampala Masaka Highway. The Ministry of Works and Transport informs the public of brief traffic delays at Katonga Bridge as our contractor CCC transports and installs precast girders beginning yesterday, Tuesday, 11th November 2025 to 21st November 2025 between 9 a.m. to 12 noon and 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. Precast girder installation poses a safety risk to traffic flow. The beams are extremely heavy and large, requiring slow movement and crane lifting across the road carriageway. Motorists are therefore advised to follow traffic guidance and exercise patience during these operations. We regret any inconvenience and appreciate your cooperation as we deliver on this milestone at Katonga Bridge.
Wow, that.
Yeah.
Technology.
In the technology.
Is that French too?
Well, on that note, without even wasting any more time, let's have a look at what we have on the local scene.
Well, we begin with His Excellency Kaguta Museveni and also the NRM presidential candidate 2026. Now, President Museveni has pledged creating more employment opportunities, constructing roads, hospitals and schools, as well as maintaining peace in the country. He was addressing a mega rally at Boma Grounds in Kapchorwa district as he ended his campaign trail in Sebei sub-region. The president's advance team, led by the second national vice chairperson, Annette Anita Among, vice chairperson Eastern Uganda, Calvin Echodu, and NRM Secretary General Richard Todong, cheered the crowds. President Museveni, accompanied by the first daughter Natasha Karugire Museveni, arrived at Boma Grounds in Kapchorwa district. The local leaders hailed the NRM government interventions towards peace, security, health and wealth creation. The National Resistance Movement presidential candidate Kaguta Museveni also conducted his campaign in Kweni district in the Sebei sub-region. The campaign turned into an anti-corruption session as the district leaders, including the resident district commissioner, accused each other of corruption. Allegations of corruption were a prominent topic, with accusations exchanged between the RDC and the district technical leaders. Relatedly, Alliance for National Transformation presidential candidate Major General retired Mugisha Muntu decried corruption to have crippled public service. Muntu was campaigning in Lira and Kwania district, where he engaged with the locals while seeking support for his presidential bid. The Forum for Democratic Change presidential candidate Nathan Nanda Mafabi pledged to assess the survey done on construction of bridges on various rivers, including River Nile, to ease transport between Adjumani and Obongi. FDC leader pledged that. Mafabi, who was on the campaign trail, underscored the importance of infrastructure development in facilitating social and economic development. National Unity Platform presidential candidate for 2026 presidential elections, Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, continued his campaign in Rubanda and Kisoro district, where he was greeted by large, jubilant crowds. Moving through several trading centers, Kyagulanyi was cheered by residents singing and dancing along the hilly roads of the Kigezi region. In his address, Kyagulanyi pledged to improve farmers' livelihoods by setting up agro-processing factories, especially to add value to Irish potatoes. Finally, from the local scene, health data experts want international data sharing between institutions and utilization for a coordinated care plan, which will allow medical researchers analyze health data in real time for evidence-based healthcare solutions. The remarks came during the inaugural Observational Health Data Science Informatic Affairs Symposium convened by the Joint Clinical Research Center. During the inaugural Observational Health Data Science Information Conference convened by the Joint Research Center, speakers emphasized the need to have health data produced by all health institutions harmonized for a better informed clinical decision making. The The Assistant Commissioner, Ministry of Health, Head Division of the Health Information, Paul Mbaka, said Uganda is generating health information, but when it comes to its full utilization for better health care management and breaking it down to simpler languages to be understood by policymakers for better resource allocation, the gap is still large. Health experts said hospitals are still reluctant to share the medical research data they produce, yet if shared amongst each other, enable them combat medical challenges with common knowledge to drive data-driven health outcomes. Well, now Joanne takes us through what the rest of the world has.
Okay, and the reports from the Global Affairs indicate that Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi vowed yesterday that those behind the Delhi car explosion will be brought to justice and warned that the conspirators behind this will not be spared. The blast, which occurred on Monday near the historic Red Fort, left at least 13 people dead and 20 injured, marking the first major explosion in the Indian capital in over a decade. Speaking through his state visit to Bhutan, Modi expressed condolences to the victims and their families, stating that he had been in constant contact with security agencies throughout the night. "Today, I come here with a heavy heart," Modi told reporters in Thimphu. The horrific incident that occurred in Delhi yesterday, Monday evening, has deeply saddened everyone. I understand the grief of the affected families. Today, the entire nation stands with them. Our agencies will get to the bottom of conspiracy. The conspirators behind it will not be spared. All those responsible will be brought to justice. Defense Minister Rajnath Singh echoed the Prime Minister's remarks, stating that those responsible would be held to account under any circumstances. And Bhutanese Prime Minister Shering Tobgay extended condolences on behalf of his government. And then moving on to another international story, Venezuelan Defense Minister Vladimir Podrino Lopez announced that a new phase of Plan Independencia 200 is underway, involving a scaled-up and integrated deployment of 200,000 troops alongside air and navy assets, speaking to the media in Caracas on Tuesday. This comes amid recent U.S. operations against alleged narco speedboats in the Caribbean waters near Venezuelan coasts, which Caracas has labeled a threat to regional security and intimidation by Washington. He warned that the U.S. military forces are being used as mercenaries to kill, noting statements by senior U.S. officials. They are killing defenseless people in the Caribbean, whether they are drug traffickers or not, killing and executing without due process, he continued. The great powers have spoken out against this aggression occurring in the Caribbean, against this intimidation, against this threat, he declared, accusing Washington of polluting the waters of the Caribbean Sea with hatred, supremacism, and stressing Venezuela's commitment to make the Caribbean Sea close to U.S. interests. Now, just to let you know, at least 76 people have died in the U.S. attacks in Caribbean and Pacific waters, with 20 vessels destroyed in 18 attacks since September 2nd. And coming back to the African continent, African leaders, policymakers, and development experts convened in Addis Ababa on Monday for the 6th Conference on Land Policy in Africa. This called for sweeping land reforms to address poverty and inequality and the legacy of colonial disposition. And as you can see on your screen, delegates from across the continent arriving at the venue, they were greeted by performances of traditional dance and spoken word monologues celebrating African identity and resilience. Land is the foundation of food security, social and sustainable economic development. And if managed equitably for the benefit of all citizens, it is the bedrock for social and political stability, said Mzwanele Nganso, South Africa's Minister for Agriculture, Land Reform and Rural Development. Through our land reform programs, we are also establishing the basis for addressing the scourges of poverty, inequality, unemployment, and underdevelopment, including labor tenants, other farm dwellers, and occupiers, he added. Al-Jaweli, the director of the Citizens and Diaspora Directorate at the African Union Commission, highlighted the moral and developmental nature of the debate. The African Union has asserted that the work of justice and reparations must be situated within Africa's contemporary development agenda, not as a historical afterthought, but as a pillar for sustainable transformation. And yes, that is what we have gotten for you from the Foreign Affairs here on Good Morning Uganda.
Right, thank you very much, Joan. Let's have a look at what we have on the press scene, and we're starting off, of course, with the New Vision here in Uganda, and the headline in the New Vision. All right, looks like we're starting off with Kenya. Kenya has the headline there. Kenya strikes 680 billion shillings gold. That's the headline there. Rich Lord. Residents of Isulu and Bushangala in Ikolamani, Kakamega County are on the verge of a windfall. A British firm has revealed massive gold deposits in the area and is now seeking clearance to mine the precious metal in a venture that promises a fortune for the investor, country, county, and local communities. And farm projects, it will need to acquire over 300 acres of land in move that will affect about 800 households. That's a headline there regarding matters gold and mining it. Now another story to look into. Ghost learners blame ministry, not us, say teachers. Also matters dispute police boss in fresh row with commission over retirement age. And teacher wins 5.1 million shillings award for negligence during surgery. Okay. Now, on November 12, 2016, Newton Norbert Goko began his day like any other, unaware that a single incident would alter the course of his life. Get the paper and get the story. More of it. Now, inside 558 million shillings SHA hospital payment fraud, another story to look into. Now, let's get to the New Vision here in Uganda, and the headline, government to recruit 6,800 next month, and full list of hiring entities inside. Also a picture there of President Museveni, who officially commissioned Cheptegei's hotel. That is a picture there, and in there we can see President Museveni at the center, accompanied by his daughter Natasha Museveni Karugire and other officials as they officially commissioned Joshua Cheptegei's hotel, which is under construction in Kapchorwa district. That's good stuff for Cheptegei, I must say. Congratulations to him indeed. What Muntu Kyagulanyi Mafabi told voters, and also Paula White to teach leadership at Kampala conference. And diplomacy, General Muhoozi, EU envoy, discuss regional security. Now, of course, we cannot have the New Vision and not talk about World Cup. Uganda Cubs trounced France. And that is a picture of the Uganda Cranes players under 17 who beat France at the World Cup qualifiers. Looking at matters court, DPP withdraws Mabati case against Lugolobi. Hey, this one has Ugandans talking indeed. But that's it from the world.
He said God had a purpose why he sent him to Luzira prison.
Yes, but he also used the term Muntu wa wansi.
Said God had a reason why he went in police, why he went in those, and he was worshiping and praising the Lord.
What exactly does he mean by Muntu wa wansi? Because when you talk about Muntu wa wansi, it could be in terms of location or income, or maybe according to
Status.
Oh,
Status.
who is regarded as Muntu wa wansi when it comes to status in Uganda?
Let me just ask Joan. Goli muntu wawa.
Anti chembuza ntera okubeera waggulu kati simanyi. I mean like naggulu.
Well. Allow us to leave this conversation at that. And this morning, allow me encourage you through a word that I always read from the Bible. In Joshua 1:9, it reads that, "Have I not commanded you? Be strong and courageous. Be not afraid. Do not be discouraged, for the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go.
Yes.
Here is a song from Sinach, and it's titled Not Alone. Good morning.
Life.
Now, Uganda makes it to the round of 32, and as the first felicitations took shape here in Uganda, somebody who was around me made a very exciting statement that, hey, Uganda has beaten Mbappe. But indeed, we say Uganda is celebrating, and it's at this point I will say that I will leave matters of the generals to the generals. Ruben will definitely be coming on later on the show to share the full detail of this story. But for now, felicitations, Uganda. That means congratulations to the Uganda Cranes under-17 team and to Uganda at large as a country. Good morning, Uganda. My name is Julie F. Nantava, and this is Good Morning Uganda. I'm not alone, definitely with the A-class team, Joan Murunji and Robert Chirabo Nyonyintono. Good morning, Joan.
Good morning, Julie. How are you? I can see you're really happy. Is it because of what you just talked about?
Definitely so, the heart, the spirit.
But do you have any interest in football?
I actually do.
Really?
I love football, yes.
Really?
I just don't talk about it much.
Okay.
And of course, the passion to follow it like men, most men die for it. Or it's some of the things I don't do much.
So which team do you support? Because I know it's Uganda.
I'm a Ghana if it comes to the EPL. And if it comes to the UPL, I'm a Kasasiro girl.
Good morning, viewers. Thank you for tuning in to UBS. I'm sorry about that. My name is Joan N. Moronji, and yes, we are here to take you for a very interesting and long ride. So thank you for giving us a company until when we say bye to you.
Right, Robert, good morning.
A lovely morning to you, Julie. I don't remember the words you said, and I don't know if you really...
Felicitation. There is something she said in French.
We
are like,
won in Uganda. We won, and French is nous avons gagné.
Ah, Julie, that was them speed.
It sounds like Nyaranda.
Hey.
Well, Nyaranda, seeing as they also, it's a French-speaking country, you would, yes. But it's, yes.
What did you say?
Nous avons gagné.
The fact that she can say it
Overall, yes, then it's right.
Then I want to believe it's right. But I don't know if you watched
Did you ask her because you were doubting?
The prep, I thought she was preparing for Senior 6 Kumbe.
Just like I always prepare for every
But of
show.
course, something very interesting to the public that they must know. If you're going to fly Masaka Road, there will be a temporary delay.
Right.
Why?
At Katonga Bridge, I've seen the first technology. I think they're called griders being transported. That is at the bridge. So the Ministry of Works and Transport has notified Ugandans that please accept things are being made for the better.
Yeah, apparently, I think I passed by about 2 days back. It's actually taking shape. A lot has changed. It's really looking good. Yeah, they're at Katonga Bridge.
Well, that is something you should know. And of course, if you've taken long to move on a certain road, you're in a rainy season, please do not just fly, drive. The Ugandans who fly on our roads, they don't drive, but they fly. So please do not fly. Drive carefully. It is the rainy season. Anything can happen. Where you pass during the day, when the road is clear, you can have a strong pour. Trains, cats, and dogs, and things turn differently. Then there you come. And to the politicians, our brothers and sisters, campaigns are on. But please and please, let's keep peace. Then finally, the Electoral Commission, you know, there's that committee. I saw Sam Mathias Warukaga, where Honorable Medad Segona took him to the tribunal to doubting his academic credentials. Saying, but this man brought things of, you see me, take a kijinja yonge.
Adult education.
So, so he was doubting. Then someone says that Joel Senyonyi and others in that race should be dropped because there is no constituency known as Nakawa West. It is, I think, Nakawa West Division. So now, this one wants the Electoral Commission to disqualify all candidates and leave only him and declare him unopposed.
He should take it on with EC because it's EC that ideally nominated them by a constituency. That is accepted by the Electoral Commission. And speaking into what Robert has just shared, let me just read an official notice from the Ministry of Works to make clarity of that information. Temporary traffic delay at Katonga Bridge.
It's even harder to lose weight? Come and give it a try. Ginshikang L-carnitine chromium capsules, plant extract, scientific ratio, take 3 capsules each time. The active ingredient accelerates fat burning, eat twice a day, don't take a detour. Weight loss starts now. Ginshikang L-carnitine with chromium capsules helps you stay in shape. Please follow medical advice when taking this product. For more information, visit our website www.hgo.com or call 0800 335555.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
A very good morning to you, Uganda. You will forgive me for starting this moment with laughter, but behind the scenes is always very interesting as, yeah, we have a very interesting team of players on Good Morning Uganda that sometimes their conversation will probably peel you off this seat, but I'll compose myself and indeed share the information that I'm supposed to share. My name is Julie F. Nantaba. It's time for The Real, and this particular moment we're going to talk about candidates, the issue of independent candidates. First, save the number 0709 602 592. Now, with all the set elections for next year, general elections, that is multi-party politics dispensation in Uganda, requires a critical assessment of those seeking to represent Ugandans in the August House on the independent ticket. And half of the number of all candidates combined for all the 18 political parties is therein of independent ticket holders. Now, the electoral body nominated 2,711 candidates to contest for 519 parliamentary slots, with 1,283 of those contesting as independents. Remember that Uganda runs a hybrid political system that allows both party-sponsored and individuals' merit of participation. Yesterday, the Daily Monitor had a headline looking at independence, the picture of independence and the parliaments that have been there on. Looking at the 8th parliament alone, it had 40 independent members of parliament leaning to the NRM party. 43 independent members of parliament in the 9th parliament were still leaning to the NRM party. And in the 10th parliament, still leaning to the NRM party, were 66 independent members of parliament. And in the 11th parliament, it's been 73 independent candidates at that in the August House, still leaning to the NRM party. But also, just this week, there was a scandal in Kisoro where NRM party flag bearers and independent ticket holders clashed over party symbol colors. So one wonders what exactly the issue is of independence. But I'm not going to chew on this alone. It's definitely done with Robert Jeremonyonyintono and Joan Murunji alongside you on the other side. So please get your questions, or your, actually not questions, but opinions, because all of us here are just sharing our 2 cents, seeing as we do not have an expert on set. 0709 602 592 is the WhatsApp number that you should engage and be part of these conversations. Now, let me start with Robert. Do you think Ugandans have understood the idea of multi-party politics?
Well, thank you very much, Julie. I wanted to be tempted to say that Ugandans have not understood, but recently what happened in the United States where Donald Trump chose not to support our very own Mamdan despite being of the same party and went for an independent who lost seriously, and Mamdan won. That is the mayoress of New York. That showed me that even in some of those countries, we still have these challenges that we have here in Uganda.
Right.
Because you can't tell me you're a president of a country, you succumb to a certain political party, but then you choose in a highly contested and valued seat to support an independent.
An independent who's leaning to the opposition.
Who is leaning to the opposition. You even leave that independent of you. So it becomes really very confusing. Now, coming back home, we usually say that political parties are relatively young in Uganda because when you look at those that were there pre-independence, independence, there was a time when we suspended political parties in this country. By then we had UPC, I think Democratic Party. Which other party was there? But prominent was UPC and Democratic Party. Now, because of what happened, Ugandans came to a point where they had hate political parties and they had decided that, you know one thing, let's completely do away with political parties. Now, we held a referendum and Ugandans decided that let's go into multi-party dispensation. However, I must be quick to say that we didn't have sufficient preparation of Ugandans. And one would say maybe you had even pressure from powers that maybe some were invisible to say open up political space for everyone to belong to a political party of their choice. So it is just like you get a young girl and splash money on her. You know, that is what happened to Ugandans. We were very excited, we didn't plan properly, and now that excitement has led us to where we are today. That is why we do not have political parties where people join and they have really understood these political parties. You ask very many prominent members in these political parties, what is your party ideology? You ask someone in a big position of their party, what is your party ideology? What does your party stand for? He will mention a theme of their manifesto. You know, you ask someone, but okay, National Unity Platform. What do you stand for? Then someone just shout, people power, our power. Like, but what's the ideology of this political party? We do not have proper systems of recruitment. You know, most of the times we talk of great parties, the Communist Party of China, you know, the Chama Cha Mapinduzi, and others we may talk about, the ANC in South Africa now. Most of these political parties have what they call cadre identification, recruitment, training, then they get them to, they position them to different positions. The term they use is placement. Let me use placement for this time now. Come to Uganda. Previously, you had people who would belong to political parties because their families belong to political parties. That home is UPC, so it was more or less like a religion. You're born from UPC, you support your family is UPC, your family is DP. About DP, that home is known. Now, people, not to look at the history of those political parties that were attached religions, you see, maybe to some extent also tribe. Now, with the modern day parties we are talking about, people are joining out of excitement. We have free entry, free exit. You see someone today, they are in NRM. There's a person, a friend of mine, and this is a fact, it's called Honorable Muyanja Senyonga.
Right.
Mokono. This is a man who one time preached to me about the goodness of NRM.
NRM party, yes.
Now, yesterday, over the weekend, I was driving through Mokono. I look at a poster. I see he's now in Noop.
He is. I actually watched a debate,
You know?
because I know I understand he's contesting as mayor.
Yes, I said I used to host
For
this
the
man
mayoral seat, yes.
on a talk show on Star Radio, and he was so passionate about NRM. I think one time even was the chairman, is it parliamentary caucus of something, either if it was in Uganda or it was NRM something. Now, today you have someone in Noop, tomorrow they are in NRM. You ask a young man, why are you so? The mistakes we made, and I want to say this, you see, if the foundation of anything is wrong, for people in the construction industry, if you're constructing a house and the foundation is wrong, you can never have it right at the roof. So the foundation of political parties in Uganda was wrong. Was wrong. And unfortunately, we've done little, if any, to rectify these things. We are excited over numbers, you know, we are excited over so many things, but we forget that you don't need, of course, numbers matter in politics.
Yeah.
But I think it's a time we go to quantity and quality, and we go for quality.
But if you actually
because this is why you're having these mistakes.
Indeed.
Someone is big in a political party, then he chooses to come as an independent, even when there's a tribunal that went through and he says, no, I'll come as an independent. He subjected himself to a process. Now, you find someone is I'll use NUP and NRM, those two, but if someone is in National Unity Platform today, he's a very vocal person. The next time, then he begins talking all hell of things. Because let's look at, it began like people power. Then one day it is a political party so that they can compete in an election. You know, then we have this other party, our brothers, the yellow ones. It is a mass party. Come to Christ, he welcomes everyone. So these are the challenges that we have. You cannot have Ugandans understand multi-party dispensation when the way they join political parties are not looked at cadre identification, cadre recruitment, mentorship, placement, all of these we are not looking at, but we are happy which political party. That's why even the people don't even give in for their political parties. How many in some parties buying a party card, not this standing, but having an ID that you succumb to that party. You buy it expensively.
Robert, can we really conclude that maybe also these candidates do not have confidence in their tribunals? Because if you've expressed your dissatisfaction, you're sent to the tribunal and you don't agree with the results. Or should their constitutions be amended? What comes next after?
But I think it's not even just the tribunals. For me, I think it speaks into a larger picture of Ugandans at large, the electorate, us who vote, but also the personalities of these different individuals. It only speaks that politics and every point of service is it's not service anymore. It's open enough to show you that.
Two, when you have a loophole in the law, because our law accepts independence and
party flag
bearers. But it is bad that what we call independence, you see, English is a language, but you need to understand it. In the political sphere, when you talk about an independent candidate, what do we mean? This is a person, and even the framers of our constitution. You see, we are in a mistake, but we are trying to polish this mistake. I want to go into the brains of the people that came up with our constitution and said we shall have people who are leading to their political parties and independence. They were not talking about the independence we are talking about today. They were talking at a person, or talking about a person who has chosen not to belong to any political party.
Right.
That is the independent. Today, what we call independence,
not someone who is dissatisfied with their
and we have accepted, we are complacent. He's standing
Indeed.
as an independent.
No one saw
I'll
this
go
coming.
to the Constitutional Court and challenge these people. I think I better go very fast and say, let's go back and interpret the Constitution.
Right.
The people we call independents in Uganda today,
are they eligible?
are they the independents, the framers of the Constitution were looking at? I'm going to file a suit in the Constitutional Court.
Yes,
now,
sir.
in just a bit, I'm going to ask Joan to elaborate more on the law, on what the law says about independence in Uganda, to give us a broader perspective on what it looks like exactly. But just so you know, the State Minister for Works and Transport, Honorable Musa Echweru, withdrew from the Amuria County MP race. Echweru, who contested as an independent after losing in the NRM party primaries, stated that his withdrawal was based on the party's cohesion and unity.
Yes.
Yeah, and it was interesting. That happened on Tuesday at Amuria Town Council headquarters at the NRM party offices. And I think he must have seen it coming if it was not about discipline of the party, because the NRM constitution stipulates what comes after you decide to run as independent. These political parties have stringent guidelines or laws put in place in case you are violating their constitution. For example, no, you are stripped off your membership as a party member. And for NRM, you're violating the constitution, that is one, and it is considered as indiscipline. We've seen the Secretary General for NRM calling upon these people, appealing to them actually to reconsider themselves as standing as independents. And also we've seen the National Vice Chairman, Alhaja Moses Chigongo. Recently, I think it was last week, he came out and asked these people to stand down. So if you can really not listen to the party authorities, the top leadership, how are you going to respect the leadership in parliament? How are you going to respect the constitution of Uganda?
Right. Now, I love what Robert painted, where he said that indeed he's willing to become the Mabirizi lawyer to go and challenge the constitutional court.
To fund me properly.
You need someone to
challenge the constitutional court and share.
Court is expensive. You need to have some money on you.
Right.
So I need someone, if you're out there, I want to go to court and challenge independence. That people we are referring to as independents in Uganda were not the really ones that the framers of our constitution.
Okay.
For them, they looked at someone who not want to participate in any political party activity. Now, what we are having here are members, you subject yourself even to the internal democracy system, then you lose and you come as an independent. Electoral Commission, I'm suing two people. The Electoral Commission, I seek interpretation.
All right,
but
so John, let me come to you. Let me come to you.
Okay.
Elaborate more.
Yeah.
Robert has just given us the superficial
About
bit
the law.
of it. But what does the law exactly tell about independence in Uganda?
Article 72, the fourth clause of the Political Parties and Organization Act of 2005 and the Parliamentary Elections Act permit any person, as long as you're a Ugandan and a registered voter, to stand for elections as an independent of any political party.
Now that's where I want to ask.
So you can
It
only,
is in the constitution.
you can only break the rules.
This is why I want no.
If you know them, and they knew the rules, so they broke them.
Because
But no,
anyone, wait, if you're in the yellow book,
Right.
if you're in the register of NRM, you're in the register of NRM, showing you're a member of the NRM, you picked forms and even paid money and went in the internal democracy of NRM, the community for NRM. So if you're NUP, you're in the membership or register of NUP.
NUP, yes.
You even picked papers and stood for the internal, you accepted for the vetting process. Because NUP, they had vetting, whatever happened in there. NRM, they had an election. Now, why I want to challenge this in court, you cease to be an independent because you belong to a political party. Not so. And you even registered in there. Now, why then how independent are you?
Of those political
because
parties.
you belong to a political party. Have you in our register?
I think if it goes to court, it's likely to take a very interesting twist. Because if these political parties do not want these independents to lean on them or to come without their flags, don't you think it will be really a tug of war for these independent candidates to prove they are not part of these parties?
But also,
because they'll have to present, wait, this is our member.
And you know what is even confusing? Someone, even when campaigning, says, I'm NRM, I'm NUP.
But also the fact
just that
political
I'm standing
parties,
as an independent.
the fact that political parties embrace them thereafter. For example, the current vice president of Uganda. She is, at least for her term of service as an MP, on independent ticket.
But I think by then,
so
by
what
then,
exactly does it mean?
what I want to believe in, by then, we never had a tribunal. NRM as a political party. I stand to be corrected. I know the Secretary General can call in anytime and clarify this. He's a very ardent viewer of UBC TV, Honorable Richard Todong. Now, by then, if you lost in the NRM primaries, there wasn't a proper system for you to air out your grievances. Because let's believe, some of these primaries had issues. That's why we had some people who were disqualified. But now that NRM invested so much and had competent lawyers, a very big team of lawyers that were listening to these cases, if really the tribunal went and investigated and found out that your arguments did not carry water, you indeed lost gracefully, then you should lie low like an envelope and not bring issues as splitting the party, the party vote. Let me just give an example. Go to, where is Mathias Olukaga?
Busiro East.
Busiro East. Look at the confusion there.
There is Mahona, there is Magola, there is Walukaga, there is Segona, there is Haj Abdu Chiyimba, the NRM flag bearer. So
now, there are many
three are from Noop, actually.
Now, go to March India, where you see, you have Alan Sewanyana, you have Zahara Yurika, you have then, you know. So, at the end of the day, you're doing a disservice to the people themselves, and all of these, when standing, they'll say, I belong to Noop.
Right.
But I've come as an independent.
Allow me pause the both of you there
empathy?
and bring our viewer up to speed just in case they have just switched on their TV set. You are watching UBC TV. We come to you live from Nile Avenue, and we're looking at the issue of independence. Those who choose to contest as independents or for political party, rather for different seats of service, especially in this current election season that we are on, and up to 1,283 out of 2,711 candidates are independent. 1,283 are independents. And of course, most of them, it will surprise you, are leaning to particular parties. Now, good morning, Julie, Robert, and we'll be back. Joanne, the funny thing is that the massive outbreak of independent candidates is as a result of emotions and injustices. And trust me, anything built on negativity can't be fruitful. That's why there is rising cases of independent but party leaning, meaning that they don't have an independent ideology, but just doing politics. Secondly, the independent candidates always want to categorize them, and the moment it's done, then they share a common idea, and that makes them a party. So, but it is this is Cricket Derek Gagamel from March India, Luwafu. So, let me ask Robert and pose it to Joanne as well, but I want to hear from Robert first, indeed, as we begin to wrap this up. Why do you think this issue is increasing?
One, because our political parties have not been very serious on this issue. That is one. You know, sometimes you need to shun away from certain people. Now, when someone comes through as an independent and then maybe he gets a bigger position or something, what message are you sending home? So the political parties have an issue. Two, the systems within the political parties of selecting flag bearers also are questionable. You know, I followed the vetting process of National Unity Platform, where someone can even be sent to a constituency she never submitted herself to. For example, when you come to March India, someone is woman, MP for Kampala. There are people who have come through that vetting process. Then you position her there. You know, so there are issues. The other issue is high commercialization of our politics. That you see now is no longer about service. Very few politicians are coming to serve. Politics is one of the greatest paying jobs in Uganda today. So someone may be convicted that what you're doing is wrong, but the greed for money outcompetes loyalty to the party. And finally, the fact that our constitution provides for an independent slot, but this I am quick to add that the independent the constitution was talking about is not the independent candidates we have today, where someone says, I belong to NRM, I'm NRM, I'll die NRM, but I'm standing as an independent. I belong to National Unity Platform, vote the President Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, I'm on Noop, I'll die Noop, people power, but I'm an independent. Let's look at an English language interpretation of what being independent means. Let's look at a constitutional court interpretation. And if anyone is there to fund me, I will take these on for interpretation. Are we having independence in Uganda, or are we having people who have failed to pass through vetting systems as per Noop? Are we having people who are just dissatisfied with our process and we are terming them independence? We should look for a proper English word for these people. We can no longer call them independence. Let's look through the dictionary. Let's look at the experts in the English language. What word can we call the so-called independence? Because you cannot be an independent and saying I'm of this party and I'm independent. English-wise, that is wrong. Constitutionally, I also want to believe if our lawyers look through the books, they'll find that that is also wrong.
Right, good morning. The truth stands, the traditional political parties do not work for the new generation. Biblically stated, the more you get to know and understand, the harder it hurts. Minds get divided when leaders divert from the founding principles. This is this contributor says old old political parties look at the founding leaders as gods. What he dictates is what the majority subscribe to. This
Even the new
is
political
Noble
parties.
Akiki who has shared this. Let's bring this conversation to a close. Let me start with Joan. What impact do you think this has to political parties, on political parties?
If we look at this current parliament, we've had over 40 independent candidates from the previous one. Rather 40 of the independents.
Yes.
And then the previous one had 32 independents. And the next parliament, we expect even the number to grow to about even 70. I think there are a lot of things we can talk about or think about the impact. One, what is it in for a member of parliament? Why are these people eyeing? It's what Robert talked about initially. What are they looking for in parliament? Is it representation? Is it legislation? Is it a monetary value? And secondly, it is personal gain at times, because from some of the political parties you hear, this one has come as an independent because he or she is eyeing for a bigger position. Some just want political relevancy, or someone is just looking to advance their career or to kickstart their career in politics. So I think it is personal decisions minus the constitutional stringent guidelines given to these candidates. So I think, Robert, when you also talked about the tribunals, do you think there should be a body established, a neutral one? Because most of them state they've been dissatisfied with the primaries. What are the processes? Is it equitable to these individuals? Because most of them come as a result of being dissatisfied with the primaries.
Right. Robert.
For National Unity Platform, they never had, because of the party that did the vetting, they never had, I think, a serious tribunal.
Yeah.
For NRM, the team of eminent, prominent lawyers that I saw, I think, unless otherwise, if you went through the tribunal and they really told you that brother and sister, like an envelope, you really lost graciously. And then you come as an independent.
Look at Honorable J.J. Odong. He said he was not around about at the primaries. And that is why he's coming as an independent.
And Honorable Namuganza says for her, even the tribunal, she doesn't believe what came out of it. Anyways, this conversation obviously cannot stop here, but of course time also forces us to stop here. So let's close it here. And I hope next time we have it, we do have party stakeholders or all stakeholders involved in this matter to just hear their perspectives and their whys and what result they expect out of it at the end of the day. As John talked about the money, the only song that was in my head was money, 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 money.
Reality versus money in political parties.
Express is up next. Good morning.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Following our earlier communication regarding the technical challenge that affected the transmission of some free-to-air television channels, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation UBC wishes to provide the public with an update on the ongoing restoration efforts. Our engineering and technical teams have been working diligently to resolve the issue and restore normal transmission. While substantial progress has been made, the process has taken longer than initially anticipated due to the complexity of the fault. We assure our valued viewers and partners that full restoration remains our top priority and every necessary measure is being taken to ensure a stable and reliable signal across all affected platforms. In the meantime, we kindly advise viewers to rescan their TV sets to access the available channels. This will ensure that you can view the channels that are currently broadcasting without interruption. UBC sincerely apologizes for the inconvenience this disruption has caused and appreciates the continued patience and understanding of our audiences as we finalize the recovery process. Further updates will be provided through our official communication channels as progress continues. For additional information, please contact Public Relations Office, Uganda Broadcasting Corporation, UBC. Email info@ubc.go.ug or +256 703 826 623.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Immaculate Heart Girls School near Chibale, and previously we just took you inside the museum, but right about now we are outside, and this is partly where these students get to also learn skills. This is Drive to Culinary Tourism, and we are yet to just dive into that. Good morning and welcome on the GMU Tourism Express. My name is Zakia Lucky. We have a number of items here, and this is a process, I'm told, that is going to take us to the final product, Kalo, that many of you have tasted but do not know how this actually goes, how this is made and how it goes about, plus the products that are used to make this. With me is one of the students that is a part of the process, and she's going to be telling us what items or what is even taking place here. Please tell us about the process.
The items we need are a mortar and pestle, we need millet, then cassava, then entemele, the so-called baskets, then entire, those are winnowing baskets, and then a pot, orico, that is mingling stick, then endio, those are baskets. Yes.
Yes, so those are items that you need in the process. So take us through the process, starting from the very first one until we get to the final product.
So the first process is pounding, and in pounding, what is required is the pestle and the mortar. We pound the millet and then transfer it to the winnowing baskets. Yes, to the winnowing baskets. You winnow, then again transfer to the basket.
Is this the pounding process that you talked about?
Process.
Okay, from here, then we get to what they are doing.
Winnowing process. Okay. Yes. And after winnowing, you roast the millet. We roast in order to add flavor to the millet bread. Then after roasting, we transfer to the grinding stones, yes. After grinding, the millet flour is transferred to a basket, which is either used for keeping the flour or taking it to the cooking place. Yes, and then the cassava, you dry it, and then you pound it as well. After pounding it, you also roast it separately, and thereafter you mix the cassava flour and the millet flour, and thereafter you boil water. After boiling, prepare millet bread. The ratio of millet to cassava is 1:2, meaning that the cassava is supposed to double the amount of the millet flour, because the cassava adds to the thickness of the millet bread.
I've tasted this a number of times, but I'm just learning that these two are actually mixed together. I always thought it's just millet. Well, we are now going to the preparation process, since we've gotten a chance to see how these other processes get to start, just from pounding and then to the winnowing stage. And here, just before us, is flour that is ready to be placed in water, like she said. Head there with us, and then let's see how the mingling is done. We are right in with the process. Maybe you can explain to us what you're doing here.
So right now, I am moving, and you add flour to the water. After picking some little water from the one that had boiled, so that in case the millet becomes too thick, you add the water.
Does the mingling require a lot of energy because it looks hectic?
Yes, it does.
Are you doing it for the first time?
No.
You talked about getting to understand that it's ready by the sound that it starts to produce, and the sound is already being heard. Does that mean it's ready?
No.
Not yet?
Yes, because it can still stick on the hands if you try to touch it.
Okay. So there you're trying to test if it is ready by not sticking on the...
Yes.
Okay.
The process got even more interesting when we got to the final part of preparation. I got a chance to also learn the skill myself, and more interesting even when students took a part in this. You heard from them, some of them are doing it for the first time, others have learned something from home, and others have learned from here. The most bit was about culinary tourism, and it has been a transformation from just exploring other foods. But right about now, it was about the Ugandan foods. And when we got back to what we've been doing in the foods and nutrition, we've been doing other foods, and now it has been an experience. And not to forget, this was also part of the museum that is in our background. Stick around, we are coming back with another segment. We are still exploring what's in the school museum at Immaculate Girls School.
Brought to you by Uniquely Ours. Explore Uganda.
Good morning once again. My name is Joan N. Murunji. Thank you for accompanying us here on Good Morning Uganda. Welcome back from Tourism Express with Zakia Lucky. Remember, it's proudly brought to you by Uganda Tourism Board. Yes, I've learned something. I didn't know if you are making kalo, you're supposed to use a ratio of 1:2. And little did I know, cassava is also included. Learning never ends. Yes, she says she'll have more from that, and you just have to stick around each and every morning here on Good Morning Uganda. Time for the economic news here on GMU. And yes, I'm going to start off with a very, very good remark towards the journey of a data-driven Uganda that requires more than just technology. It calls for leadership, structure, and sustained collaboration. And now, yes, Michael Atingi Ego, the governor of the Bank of Uganda, has something to tell to the Ugandans. Let's take a look.
To be able to derive stuff.
The future belongs to those who understand the power of data and artificial intelligence and can harness their potential, remarked economist Dr. Fred Muhumuza.
You can't run an economy, you can't manage a country in whichever way you want to talk about without understanding what is going on. Now, the data is always generated by processes, but you need to pick out what is relevant, analyze it, and make a decision. So data and its analysis are important. Now, most people have run into artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence sits on the data. So the quality of your data is as important as the decisions you're going to make, leave alone the query engine, which is basically the artificial intelligence. But all these things are critical for us to say, which business should I set up? Who needs a loan? Which school should I take my child to? Which course should you can already see.
At the second Data Analytics, Artificial Intelligence and Data Governance Symposium, the discussion evolved on workplace and the skills needed to stay relevant in a competitive, rapidly changing digital economy.
If we are to pick what AI and technology is bringing around here, we need to think long term, design policies and processes that actually deliver long-term results. Today I may have a loss because of what I'm doing today, but will give me more beneficial things 5-10 years ahead.
What is government apart from where we've leapfrogged to governance? What other strategies and measures are there to make us data ready?
Bank of Uganda is leveraging data and AI to enhance financial inclusion through fintechs, promote digital payments, and build capacity in data science. The bank is developing financial inclusion dashboards with gender disaggregated insights, targeting effective interventions.
As AI handles technical doing, the premium shifts to uniquely human capacities, asking the right questions, providing strategic direction, exercising judgment and ambiguities in situations where data offers no clear answer. AI relies on historical data, but it's quite hard for it to operate in a world of uncertainty like we are today. So humans are necessary.
Held on the theme From Insight to Impact, Operationalizing Data, AI and Data Governance for Sustainable Growth, the symposium focused on translating awareness into action, strategy into systems, and data into measurable outcomes.
Okay, yes. Now insurance is very, very crucial in our lives, especially to the road users, because it provides financial protection against the costs of accidents. Now, the Sanyam Alliance General Insurance has launched the first of its kind insurance policy in Uganda, the on-the-go accident cover, and it is aimed at protecting local travelers against road-related risks. Let's have a launch of this.
First compensation for medical expenses or payments to beneficiaries in the event of death caused by an accident during travel. Company officials say the innovation targets frequent road users such as taxi passengers, border riders, and inter-district travelers, groups often left out of traditional insurance schemes.
Sanlam Alliance is one of the partners that we are going to work with for a long journey in ensuring that we have better transport systems. Thank you so much, Sanlam. I'm Mbale, I mean from Kampala to Mbale, from Kampala to Gulu, from Kampala to Mbarara, or just a border from Kampala to Mukono. You can always just use the app, pay that little shillings, and be confident that you will arrive at your destination, and in case you don't, you are sure that you will be compensated.
The product will be accessible through the Sanlam Alliance Insurance app, allowing customers to instantly buy, manage and make claims conveniently from their mobile devices.
I've launched a literacy agenda where we are going to the grassroots to be able to explain why we need insurance, to be able to explain that it is affordable, to be able to showcase that we even have products that you and I can be able to afford for every Ugandan. So this is just one of those innovations to try and improve our penetration.
That goes beyond financial protection. It restores dignity, stability, and hope. It ensures that even in the face of a problem, our people are not left without support. As a regulator, we strongly encourage innovation that responds to real social and economic challenge. Innovation is not only about creating new products, it's about delivering solutions that add value to people's lives. And we believe that this product is going to add value to the lives of our people.
Officials add that this digital approach aligns with efforts to expand insurance accessibility and promote financial inclusion, even as plans are in place to reach those less familiar with digital tools. Sandra Kahunde, Robert Katamba, UBC News.
Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has always advocated for value addition in whatever you do. And yes, he's yet to officially commission the ultra-modern Day Biopharma Kamuli Starch Factory, which is a multi-billion shilling investment owned and managed by a Ugandan scientist and industrialist, Dr. Matthias Magoda, which is in Kamuli district. Now, this factory really focuses on promoting value addition to cassava, rural industrialization, job creation, and technological advancement in the agricultural sector. Let's have this report in the industrial section.
Day Biopharma pharmaceutical proprietor Dr. Matthias Magola is unveiling a state-of-the-art cassava starch factory in Kamuli, Busoga sub-region, equipped with cutting-edge technology capable of processing over 600 metric tons of cassava daily.
I visited a similar factory in a foreign land. I was shocked to discover that this factory was employing more than 20,000 people, 20,000 high-paying jobs. They were making a number of products, starch, glucose, fructose, maltose, just like we are doing here.
The modern plant will produce pharmaceutical-grade starch for use in medicine production, as well as high-quality industrial starch for the food, beverage, paper and textile industries and other starch products, including glucose, maltose, fructose, and other starch products, including drugs. The Kamuli facility is expected to significantly reduce Uganda's import dependency, create over 2,000 direct and indirect jobs, and offer cassava farmers across eastern and central Uganda stable, high-value market, turning thousands into agribusiness earners.
It is common here for farmers to go and grow cassava and they tell you we failed to find buyers for cassava. Why? Because cassava is only used for food and maybe a few items here and there. So what you see here is the state-of-the-art starch processing plant.
Beyond domestic supply, the factory will also serve regional export markets, positioning Uganda as a hub for industrial starch production in East Africa.
Look at the pharmaceutical plant in Matuga. We imported a lot of starch. We import a lot of these sugars. So when we realized this, we said, no, as a country, we need to be self-reliant.
The commissioning ceremony, set for 20th November 2025, is expected to attract national leaders, policymakers, investors, scientists, and community stakeholders eager to witness a landmark in Uganda's journey towards self-sustained industrial growth.
Okay, let's look at the forex rates as they stood by 11th November 2025. The US dollar opened and bought at 3,518.95 and sold at 3,528.95. And by midday, it bought at 3,534.32 and sold at 3,544.32, while it closed in at 3,564.55 as it bought and sold off at 3,574.55. And the Great British Pound, it bought at 4,694.33 and sold at 4,707.50, while the euro bought at 4,121.51 and sold at 4,133.07. The Kenyan shilling bought at 27.58 and sold at 27.66, while the Tanzanian shilling bought at 1.44 and sold at 1.45. And the South African rand bought at 207.59 and sold at 208.17. Yes, those were the forex rates by 11th November 2025. Yes, a special message today to one of our viewers, and that is Reje Tina. Yes, it is your birthday, baby girl, and I'm wishing you a day filled with joy, love, and non-stop fun. May all your wishes come true, and may this year bring you endless blessings. From all of us here at GMU, we hope your day is as bright as your smile. Enjoy every moment. She's looking pretty. Happy birthday, Tina, and thank you for being a very good viewer of GMU, especially shout-outs from Davis. Okay, I think I have to let the agenda take place. My name is Joanne Maroon. Just to leave you with something, make sure you focus on being productive instead of just being busy. Good morning, Uganda still continues. Thank you for watching.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda.
Pick of the day on UBC.
Every Wednesday, 10 p.m. on your public broadcaster.
Was brought to you by
I'll call you every day, yeah, yo,
you can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks. Kubei Dondolo. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000, or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100 *21# and select daily, or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.